A Rotherham grooming gang survivor has won a major legal battle over one of her abusers, with the High Court granting her the power to sell his home in a £450,000 victory. Well, GBNews reporter Charlie Peters has the exclusive and he joins me now in the studio. Charlie, fantastic news, and it seems at last common sense has been served and justice has been done.
That's right. I mean, I've been working with this survivor for a number of years now. She supported much of the channel's campaigning work and our documentary earlier this year on grooming gangs, Britain's shame, and this news is fantastic. But her story is tragic. Just to give you a brief timeline for our viewers and listeners, Liz was abused in a flat, held there for 10 weeks when she was just 14 in Rotherham, the South Yorkshire town, which was the centre of this appalling national scandal, where over 1,500 girls were abused from 1997 to 2013. An appalling experience. When she got out of that flat, rescued eventually by a local campaign group in the South Yorkshire town, she started to rebuild her life, but in essence, so much of her happiness and her childhood had been stolen. And it took until 2018 for her abuser, Ashgar Bostan, to be jailed. He was jailed for just 9 years, which Elizabeth told me felt like a slap in the face. But the scandal continued. In 2020, she found out, and the Ministry of Justice apologised after her abuser was moved to an open prison without her being informed, and 2 years later, in 2022, he was released, having served just half of his sentence. This is a rapist of a child being in prison for under 5 years. But Elizabeth says that she's finally got the justice that she deserves with this groundbreaking legal case, a civil action against her rapist. In March, she secured £425,000 of damages against Mr. Bostan, and now, many months later, she has secured a charging order on his assets, forcing him to sell his home. That's going to come next. We understand that's the legal team's next plan. So he took away her happiness, her childhood, and her freedom. She now, some 2 decades later, has turned around and said, well, I'll have your house, and I'll have also £450,000, because since March, when this legal order came through at the High Court, it's also accrued some interest. So an extra 25 grand will go in very nicely indeed.